So what book is this that you're reading? Tell me about it.
It's called Walking with the Wind, and it's an autobiography of Senator John Lewis, Congressmember John Lewis, and Congressmember John Lewis. At the time, he wasn't either one of those. And he was born in 1940. He is walking me through this. It's a really amazing reading, and I went to Tallahassee, Florida, with the Dream Defenders. Shout out to my t-shirt, Dream Defenders, DDOD. Hung out with them for 10 days and spent the night in the Capitol after what happened. Yeah, and spent the night with the Capitol after what happened with the verdict of George Zimmerman, right after my term was over for president of the United States Student Association. And I just kind of felt like, considering the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington's happening this weekend, and considering the school I went to, what kind of education I got, I wasn't able to freely read things like this. And so my 2013 goal for the year was to read a book a month. And so this is the August book, and it's probably September because it's a little bigger than my normal books. And I went to Bus Boys and bought it, and I really wanted to learn about someone who I felt like I knew but didn't really know too much about, and also was really curious as to finding a different perspective from someone who was young during the Civil Rights Movement. And so I watched, considering the movie like 42 just came out a little while ago with Jackie Robinson, and I have the movie and I love it to death, and The Butler just came out and it was amazing, and you have to see that.
Yes, I do.
And considering reading this book, I kind of want to like put it all together for myself. And so this summer has really been a civil rights reality check for me. I'm 24 years old. He was 23 when he spoke at the March on Washington, which was pretty awesome. His first form of like protest or like organizing was he wanted to get a library card, and at the time black people couldn't get library cards, and so he wrote a petition and got students on campus to sign it and sent the petition to the library. And although they didn't respond and didn't care and nothing was followed up on, that was his first form of being a part of an organizing campaign and taking a stance on something that he knew was right and important. And so I went to Florida for the exact same reasons. I have a little brother. I worked with the students in Florida to do voter registration work, and I look forward to working with them this next election that's going to happen when we're trying to register 61,000 people, which is the margin difference between what Governor Rick Scott won by. So that'll be really exciting. I've done a national vote campaign, really excited about going down there, helping them with their statewide vote campaign. And this is just also putting into fruition kind of the different practices and tactics that we knew worked really well back then that we want to kind of use now. But I just need to see it from someone's perspective. And so this is really helpful to read. And I actually marched with John Lewis last year in November and didn't even know it was him. And I was holding him, like we had our arms linked. We marched from FAMU's Eternal Flame all the way to the Capitol to do early voter registration. And I was holding his arm, had no idea who he was, and I was like, maybe I should read about him. There's this big book about him, I probably should read it. And now I'm kind of like regretting the fact that I didn't know who he was, which isn't my fault, like that's my school's fault.
You know now.
But now I know, and so I'm really excited and looking forward to reading more about really important people. It's important for us to take our own education upon ourselves sometimes when we can't find things, and there's no time to waste. So summertime is important, to take up reading. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.